For several years while I was in my second master's program, renovating our second fixer upper, I was working in the ER. I was the assistant medical director for our stroke program, two programs actually. I was keeping two young kids alive and incubating our third. Lily was in utero at that time. I mastered the art of frozen meals. I would pick one day a month. I've actually gotten away from this, which I really should. I should do this again. But I would pick one day a month where the kids were out of the house. I got babysitting. So my kids were younger. They weren't in school yet. And I would spend all day in the kitchen prepping freezer meals.
Welcome to the Imperfectly Empowered podcast with DIY healthy lifestyle blogger, Ahna Fulmer. Empowering you to transform your life, one imperfect day at a time.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Imperfectly Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Ahna Fulmer. I wish you all a very, very happy new year. I hope you guys had an amazing holiday break. As you can hear in my voice, I am recovering from laryngitis and who knows what else. But we are incredibly blessed. Every Christmas, we have 7 Christmas celebrations every year since Zach and I have been married. And the way that tallies up is our 4 sets of grandparents, our 2 parents, and then our own family Christmas equals 7 Christmas get-togethers. And only 2 of them are on the same day. So it is a busy blessing. Needless to say, we all got something at some point, which is sort of inevitable. So bear with me. I apologize. My voice is not quite what it normally is. But I am very excited to chat about this today. We're talking about meal planning. This is one of my weaknesses in life, which is ironic because I am an incredibly organized person to a fault. I can multitask with 20 mental windows open and do very well without burning out. But there's something about meal planning that I struggle with. I don't know what my problem is. So I think it was a year ago now. I can't remember when I started posting a weekly Monday meal plan on my blog. I followed that meal plan for a long time, and it was pretty much in line with the nutritional plan for my faster way to fat loss clients as well. And we've adjusted slightly over the years. We still use a lot of those recipes, but as my kids are getting older, I'm having to create meals in bulk, which is something I didn't think about when my kids are younger. But Caleb alone he eats nonstop. He doesn't quit. He's always hungry. So I can't even imagine when we bring, our second son home through adoption and we have 4 teenagers in the house. Oh my goodness. So those of you moms out there who have been there, done that, maybe you're in that phase right now. I'm getting there. So our meal plans are adjusting, and what is coming, I'll share this, is going to be Costco meal plans. Healthy, easy dinners that you can prepare based on what Costco offers, because that is where we are right now. So that is coming. Stay tuned. But in the meantime, lots of delicious, nutritious recipes. Every Monday, I do share a dinner meal plan if you want ideas every week, every Monday on my blog. But meal planning can be very, very overwhelming. As I said, it is one of my least favorite tasks in life. It is difficult enough to come up with a meal the majority of my children like, let alone grocery shopping, prepping, and making healthy ones. So I'm going to share some time-saving meal prep ideas to stress less about getting a healthy homemade meal on the table for your family. Tip number 1, make a week's worth of breakfast smoothies in one day. I have been slowly rolling out protein shake recipes on my blog. I did a whole series on protein that many of you watched or listened to. And one of the things that I shared is that I would roll out some protein smoothie recipes, because when I searched the World Wide Web for protein shakes, I was incredibly disappointed with what I found. These are not actually protein shakes. These are more like dessert smoothies with a little sprinkling of protein. Okay. Protein shakes are not meant to taste like dessert. No, they shouldn't taste like grass either. Keep kale out of my drinks. But I am slowly rolling this out so you can search protein shakes on my blog. It's under the drink section. These have about 30 grams each, and they are all less than 400 calories. So about 300-ish calories. So an idea would be to whip up a large batch of your favorite smoothies, separate them into individual portions, and freeze them. The night before, place one of your freezer packs in the fridge to defrost, and then you have a ready to go smoothie in the morning. Now, I will share if there's banana in it, sometimes they defrost kind of weird, but there are actually packs that you can get specifically for smoothies. So that is a thought. But this is true of any breakfast. Maybe it's overnight oats, whatever it is. Don't forget about your deep freezers, people. Number 2, pick one day and set it aside as a prep day. For several years while I was in my second master's program, renovating our second fixer-upper, I was working in the ER. I was the assistant medical director for our stroke program, 2 programs, actually. I was keeping 2 young kids alive and incubating our third. Lily was in utero at that time. I mastered the art of frozen meals. I would pick one day a month. I've actually gotten away from this, which I should do this again. But I would pick one day a month where the kids were out of the house. I got babysitting, so my kids were younger. They weren't in school yet. And I would spend all day in the kitchen prepping freezer meals. The good news is that the majority of the recipes on my blog can be made ahead of time and frozen. There's often freezer instructions on the recipes themselves. For some tips, you can simply just use tinfoil pans if you want easy cleanup. Buy them in bulk at Costco or wherever. And it makes for a pretty painless cleanup. But pick one day and set it aside as a prep day and make a ton of freezer meals. 3, stock up on frozen produce. We buy our veggies in bulk at Costco, and then we create quick and easy roasted vegetables each night. I have a ton of roasted vegetable recipes on my website, anywhere from, oh my gosh, just to throw some out, roasted Brussels sprouts, roasted green beans, roasted Italian broccoli, roasted honey, carrots, roasted smoky cauliflower is one of our favorites, roasted sweet potato fries, crispy garlic potatoes, also roasted. These are all roasted on sheet pans. They're very easy. Just have these on hand in your freezer, and it makes for a much faster veggie side dish. Again, I apologize for my voice. I'm going slow because it's hard for me to get it out. But we're staying on schedule, people. That's right. Number 4, use freezer-safe glass storage baking dishes. I have mentioned these many times on my website. I think I've mentioned them here before on the podcast. There's such a thing as a freezer-safe storage baking dish. It is not the same as just a glass baking dish, and you can feel the difference. I have one of both, and these freezer-safe glass storage baking dishes are thicker and heavier. I use these to prep casseroles. Again, when I mentioned those years where I was like the queen of freezer meals, I use these, and then what I would do is I would put them in the freezer. They have like these lids that snap onto the top so that you can put them in the freezer. But then when you are ready to bake them, you take them out the night before, put them in your fridge, they defrost, and then you put them in your freezer the next day in the same dish. Not all dishes are acceptable to do this because they're not thick enough, I guess. I don't know. But you can feel the difference. I have one of both, and they're very different. I love them. I recommend Anchor Hocking dishes are my favorite. There might be others out there. These are the ones that I've used multiple times. I have 2 8x8s and 2 9x13s, and highly recommend these dishes. Number 5, Buy in bulk. This seems like a no-brainer, but I'm shocked how many people don't actually buy in bulk. If you are especially going to do the meal prepping day where you take one day, and by the way, I would do one day a month. Now, we had two young kids who weren't in school. So if you've got an older, bigger family, then you may need more than once a month. But it saved me so much time doing that one meal prep a day so that I had meals ready to just stick in the oven. And then, of course, there was, the leftover situation. There are numerous places to buy in bulk, including Amazon, but really Costco is my go-to recommendation. I know there's other things like Sam's Club. Some of you don't have a Costco near you, and I'm sorry. I don't even know what else to say. I'm sorry. Costco is just a lifesaver for us, especially as our kids get older. But don't be afraid to buy in bulk. The key to buying in bulk is planning ahead. The key to buying in bulk is planning ahead. Number 6, prep right out of the grocery bag. I saw this on somebody's post. Oh my gosh, probably a couple of years ago. And this is what I would do. So I would have this prep day. I'd go out, I'd get all my groceries, bring them home, and then I'd prep right out of the bag. It sounds really silly, but you moms out there, you know what I'm talking about. It's like you feel like you spend half your life, you're creating your list. Then you're going to the store. Then you're bringing all the stuff home. And then you put all the stuff away. And then you have to get it all back out again to prep. And then you clean up. I mean, sometimes you just feel like you live in the kitchen. Well, I have several hacks for you to spend less time in the kitchen. Maybe you enjoy that. I have friends that they enjoy that, and I wish I was that way. I enjoy creating recipes, but like the day in, day out, making dinner, I don't love it. I don't love it. It's on my to-do list to keep growing in that area. I wish I loved it more. But this is a great hack. Prep right out of the grocery bag. So instead of taking the time to put the groceries away when you'll just get them right back out, skip that step and spend that day prepping right out of the grocery bags. A hack, if you do not know this, I'm doing a whole nother podcast episode on money saving life hacks. This is one of my top ones. Speaking of Costco, Costco destroyed our budget for years. I couldn't help myself. And I'm not like a massive spender. I'm really not. But I'd go into the freaking store and I'd buy cucumbers by the dozens because who doesn't need 36 cucumbers? It's healthy. Of course, we should buy 36. We never ate them all. Right. But it's like, oh, yeah, I'll get that. Anyways, the point is, all it takes is one extra item that you didn't need before you went in, and you've just added $20 to your list. Anyhow, 2 hacks when it comes to groceries and Costco. Number 1, you can order almost all of their dry goods online. www.costco.com. I started doing this years ago. So everything from dishwasher detergent, laundry detergent, toilet paper. Love me some Costco 2-ply toilet paper. COVID was rough, you guys. Literally and figuratively. Toilet paper, paper towels, napkins, are paper goods like paper plates, etc. You can buy all of that online. Shipping is included, same price as in the store. Also frees up so much room in your cart. Diapers, same thing. Wipes, same thing. Formula. Almost all the dry goods you can buy online, even some of the dry food items. That's hack number 1. Buy it online, avoid the store. Okay. Life-saving, transforming Costco hack number 2 that nobody knows about, whole podcast coming, I've got a lot of others, is that Instacart has partnered with Costco. You can now buy all of your groceries from Costco. They have everything that's available in the store online and have them delivered to you. You pay 5% delivery fee, and you can up that 5% to their lowest. I have done the math, you guys. By avoiding going into the store completely, I have saved hundreds of dollars because I'm not going into the store. So here's the key. When you go on to www.costco.com, you have to scroll down to the bottom and you'll see on the bottom, it says same day. Click on that. It takes you to a different website. This took me years to discover. It's through Instacart, but it is for Costco. Same day on www.costco.com. It will change your life. It will improve your budget. Whole nother podcast coming on this, but I wanted to make sure that gets plugged in here because buying in bulk, prepping one day, having your groceries delivered to you for only 5% more. And I promise you, if you're still going into Costco, you will save money, even with that 5% tip. And you guys, that 5% tip is going to a real life person. Maybe it's a stay-at-home mom trying to make a couple extra bucks. Like I'm happy to give somebody that tip. So telling you, change your life, make meal prep a lot easier, and you'll save money. Win-win. Number 7, cook protein in bulk and use it in a variety of dishes. So instead of cooking individual portions of meat, cook 9 chicken breasts or a dozen chicken breasts in the oven. Maybe you cook them in the slow cooker. One time, and then prep using that shredded chicken for multiple dishes. Go to my blog, click on the chicken section, and you will see tons and tons of recipes. Again, you guys, a lot of my recipes can be made ahead of time and frozen. Okay, number 8, make double recipes. To maximize the time put into prep, consider making 2 of every dish. This was something that I did when I had that one-day meal prep that I was telling you about. I made 2 of every dish. So for a smaller family, or if maybe there's just 2 of you, like your kids are all out of the house, make a 9x13 recipe, but divide it in 2 8x8 casserole pans. Freeze them both, get one out at a time. You have all the ingredients already there on hand. Double the recipe. If you've got a bigger family, make 2 9x13s and just make 2 of every dish. When I was doing this one prep a day, I would often put 1 in a tin foil pan and 1 in that freezer safe glass baking dish that I was telling you about. The foil pan was perfect too, like if somebody had a baby at church and I wanted to give a meal away, or we were going to a friend's house and I wanted to take a dish, or just a last minute. The tinfoil pans are nice to have that option. The baking dishes were usually for our family, but that's also a nice thing to just have on hand. Freezer full of meals. It's fabulous and it feels so good. Tip number 9, use gallon freezer bags and reusable Ziplocs. You can bake muffins, protein bites, or snack bars in bulk and freeze them in single layers in gallon freezer bags. I have said this a million times. Use your freezer. Buy a small deep freezer. Deep freezers are gold. They are gold for making life easier as a mom. To work smarter, not harder. There's also these things I just learned about these. I'm clearly I'm a little behind the 8 ball here because I know these have been around for a long time. But there's reusable Ziploc bags. That also makes sense. If you're doing this a lot, they're really nice for freshly cut vegetables. Or again, if you're doing this, I have tons of muffin recipes on my blog. A lot of them have extra boosts of protein. We often make muffins as either a go-to breakfast, a grab breakfast, or just snacks that are available for my kids. And I bake them and then I put them in the freezer in these gallon freezer bags. And you just put them in a single layer when you freeze them initially. These reusable Ziploc bags, if you're going to do this a lot, would be a great idea. Buy a gallon-sized one. But they're also great for just keeping vegetables fresh. 10, prep slow cooker freezer meals. All right, this is like an ultimate meal prep hack. Again, remember once upon a time when I was telling you that I did this once a month meal prep? Again, I was like, life was crazy for me at that time. I really could get back to this now, but because I work from home, I do have a little bit more a little bit more consistency in my schedule because my schedule is now up to me, which is fabulous. But at that time, like I had to rock and roll with the couple days that I did have home. So I mastered this art of slow cooker freezer meals. Okay, here's how this works. You buy a slow cooker bag. You might not have even known this is a thing. They literally are bags designed to withstand very high heat. You cover your crock pot with the bag and then you dump all the ingredients into it and then you cook it. So here's the hack. You put the bag in the crock pot. You put all of your ingredients that you need for the slow cooker dinner. Then you take a twisty tie and you take all the air out of the bag. Then you twist it and close it. And you take that bag and you put it in the freezer. If you're really, really picky, you don't need to do this. There are some times where you can actually freeze it in the crock pot so that it takes the crock pot shape. If you want to make it from frozen, which you can do. The other thing that you can do is just simply to take the bag out the night before, put it in the fridge, and then usually it's thawed enough that you can then fit it into the crock pot in the bag. Frozen slow cooker meals are gold. They are gold. There is a book called Freezer Meals. It is on this, it's on the show notes on the website that you want to check out. They are all natural recipes and they're all frozen slow cooker meals. I'm blanking of the names of the creators. I forget, but it's on the show notes on the blog post. If you want this cookbook, I use this a lot during that time. And then of course created my own recipes out of it. But any of my slow cooker meals, you can do this. Click slow cooker section on my blog. Lots of recipes will come up. 11, buy snack sizes for lunch. This is one of my go-to tips for setting yourself up for success during the day. We buy the mini guacamole, mini hummus, mini snack sizes in bulk from Costco. Again, these can be found a lot of different places, but especially if you and your spouse both are needing to pack lunches of some sort, these mini sizes are great. Guacamole is a great example. It's really high in healthy fats. But if you get one big container, you know how it is. You open it and then in a day it's brown. A way of getting around this is buying the mini packs in bulk, and then you just have one per lunch. You'll boost your healthy fats, and it's also a great way to enjoy nutrient-dense carbs because what we do is we dip. What all do I dip? I dip carrots. I dip turkey that's been rolled up in guacamole, like avocado, mashed avocado, peppers. I dip in avocado. I'm trying to think of other things, but those are a couple. I spread avocado on my tuna salad that I make. I actually put tuna salad in half of a fresh pepper and I spread guacamole over that. That is a great low carb lunch. That recipe is also on my blog. Google or search on pepper or tuna in the search bar on my website, and that should come up. Great low carb lunch. Tip number 12 kind of goes along with tip number 11. Keep a mini fridge at work. Those of you that, work in an office, maybe you're teachers, keeping a mini fridge in your office, in your room, by your desk can help you maintain your nutritional goals by keeping fresh food on hand. Zach has kept a mini fridge in his classroom for years, and he typically keeps a large container of Greek yogurt, mini hummus packs, apples, carrots, turkey slices in bulk, again, Costco, cheese slices in bulk, peanut butter, granola, protein powder, and he often keeps, don't know if he still does. He used to keep a gallon of milk actually in his fridge. I don't know if he still keeps milk in his fridge or not. Those are all a lot of really good high protein options. Nuts. Oh, I didn't say nuts. He also gets a massive container of nuts to take to work. Last tip number 13, make enough for a leftovers night. It's always helpful to utilize a leftovers night each week. For us, it usually ends up being something that we do on the weekend. Sundays, we either go over to a friend's house after church, or if we're not going somewhere, just even for ourselves, we buy the frozen pizzas from Costco. That's like our one buy out night, and it's frozen pizzas from Costco. And then we just add all of the leftovers for the day. So pick one night a week, whatever makes the most sense for you. Sundays to me are like the day of rest. I don't want to think about making things. I just want to rest. So maybe it's a different day for you, but if you have evening plans, sports practice, maybe you have one super, super crazy busy night a week, make that your leftovers night. Make double of one of the meals on your plan for the week, reheat, and then serve it another night. Throw the second batch in the freezer and just, again, have that stockpile of freezer meals. And you guys, don't forget the shortcuts. There's nothing wrong with grabbing pre-made ingredients for your meal. Rotisserie chicken is a great hack. Again, y'all, Costco, you can schedule your deliveries. So what I have started to do is every time that it's once a week usually, when I get the meals delivered from Costco, I have it delivered between 3 to 5 p.m. and I order the rotisserie chicken. It comes and it's still hot. And then that rotisserie chicken becomes that night's dinner. We either tear it apart and put it in salads. Sometimes we just eat it plain with roasted vegetables. There's so many things that you can do with rotisserie chicken, but that's a great, great way to go. By the way, the rotisserie chicken for an entire chicken, I think, is $6. $6. Now, for those of you who are my clients or who have been around here and you're wondering, like, what all do they put on that? Probably not all natural. I don't know that though. I don't know that for sure. I've actually never looked at the ingredients label, but if you're looking for a budget-friendly way to get more protein and make life easier, rotisserie chicken is a great way to go. Make a soup, casserole, one of my favorite shortcuts. Opt for things like pre-made pizza dough, frozen cauliflower crust, jarred sauce. A lot of these can be bought organically now too, or all naturally. So find the shortcuts, use these tips, stress less, better meal planning. Listen, we're all in it together. This is an area that I struggle in myself. It is on I've made a lot of progress. This is always one of my New Year's goals, New Year's resolutions. And if you did not see the post I recently put out there, instead of falling into one of two camps when it comes to the new year, whether you are the type that's like, oh, I'm super excited, brand new slate. Sometimes we have the habit of like disregarding the past, or maybe you're more of the like, it's discouraging to you because you're like, I've been here, I've done this, I failed. Like, what is the point of New Year's resolutions? We tend to fall into these extremes. What I'd love to encourage you is to apply the motto that I have said many, many times to my clients. And that is grace for today without excuse tomorrow. That means 2022 was its own day. We show ourselves grace. We made mistakes. I made mistakes. What can we learn from them so that we have no excuse tomorrow, not to do it perfectly, but to see progress? Imperfect though it may be, progress is what it is all about. We learn from the past, make plans for the future, and we move forward one imperfect day at a time. You and me, here we go. We've got this. Hey guys, Ahna here. If you found this video helpful, then you do not want to miss this video right here beside me on the screen. Click on it. I know you're going to enjoy it. You guys, remember, you cannot be redefined, only redeveloped, one imperfect day at a time. Your story matters, and you are loved.